Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me for a head-to-head, a Shmeemobile drag race here with BOTB, two cars I am fascinated to see go up against one another on the runway, the AMG GT Black Series and the Huracan STO. Two track-focused cars, both cars that I've already had out on track in fact, two cars that might struggle to launch with today's ever so slightly damp conditions. Time will tell. We're going to be joined by Christian from BOTB for the races. We'll have a few back-to-back runs with each of the cars. We'll get them warmed up first to see what they're all about, give you some facts and figures before it's time for the direct head-to-heads, some races with these two. Let us have a quick look then at today's challengers. For the BOTB drag race with the Shmeemobiles, we've previously had the likes of my Ford GT up against the 675 LT and even the GT4 versus the G63, but today we have two big guns, the Mercedes AMG GT Black Series versus the Lamborghini Huracan STO. Now the two cars cost very similar price tags, both do similar things. They are track spec supercars, derivatives of their base models intended to set the optimum lap time. But I can tell you with two very high-powered rear-wheel drive supercars and some slightly damp conditions this morning, although the sun is trying to burn through the clouds, this is going to come down in many ways to traction. But let's talk a little bit about both of them. The AMG GT Black Series, the lap record holder for a factory spec production car at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, set at the end of last year. Very limited model. I think we only get about 50 or 60 of them here to the UK in total. But one of the significant challenges we are going to face with this is the fact that it is fitted with the Cup 2R tyres. Now they are super sticky when they are warm. It is going to be very hard to get some temperature into those today, so we shall have to see how it goes. The car is powered by the new flat plane crank 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 front mid mounted, which in stock form would be making 730 horsepower. This car, however, has been to Opus in Germany and had a few small modifications, exhaust and a stage 1 tune, and that means we are running, as we dynoed it, 850 horsepower. Now in terms of the aero, both cars have wild aerodynamics, massive wings on the back, but the GT Black Series has the optional extendable front spoiler. We're keeping that inserted because of course downforce is the enemy of top speed and straight line performance, which is what we're going to need out here on the runway. So that's what we have in one camp. In the other side we have the Lamborghini Huracan STO, the wild thing that sounds from the factory amazing as it is. We've got a 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10, mid-engine setup hiding beneath all of this crazy aero going on the rear deck. We have 640 horsepower in total. Both cars have 7-speed dual clutch gearboxes with launch control, but in terms of tyres, back here, well, at the front as well, we've got the Bridgestone Potenza Sports, which are the all-season or all-year, I suppose you could say, the more dailyable tyre option for the STO as opposed to its track equivalent, which I think today is going to be slightly beneficial for the STO as opposed to needing quite so much temperature to get into them. We have two cars, though, that sound the part, that look the part, and are certainly some hot contenders for today's BOTB drag race, but we need to be joined by Christian, who's going to be piloting one of the cars, to have a few quick thoughts about which way this is going to go. The sun is starting to poke through, but it is very cold, and we're joined by Christian from BOTB.
How are you?
Very good, great to have you with us for today's BOTB drag race, where I gather you have some pretty exciting news.
We do indeed, Tim, yes. For a limited time only to celebrate Black Friday at BOTB, we have added into the lineup of cars you could win the brand new Lamborghini Huracan STO. It's worth over £260,000. To win one of those would just be insane, and you can do that right now at BOTB.com. There are two car winners every single week with the chance, with the Dream Car competition, to not only win a supercar, but also to win up to £50,000 with your car.
Which I would say is pretty cool. Well, today, it's these two in a bit of a drag race. We need to decide who's going to drive what.
Okay.
Are you gonna choose?
Can I go first?
Yes.
Good, because I want to take the Lamborghini. I mean, good luck trying to get that off the line. What have you got in there, like 850 horsepower?
Yeah, just a little bit of power.
Yeah, that's going to be tricky.
Not that 640 in the Lambo is easy, but relative, let's say.
Correct.
I think it's going to come a lot down to traction today, and we're probably going to need to do a few practice runs before.
Yeah.
I might take each car for a very quick run just to see and get a feel for how this is going to go.
Oh, he's cheating already. You get to drive these every day.
Well, you know, not necessarily in slightly damp, wet mornings on a runway.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky today.
And then we'll get them lined up and it'll be time to race. The fantastic news is how quickly it's drying up and how good that sounds. We will be running in Trofeo, which is of course the more hardcore track version, this being a car that is designed to set lap times and be very raw and edgy in the process. Now when you're in Trofeo, it's actually in manual. So I think for the launch, Christian's going to have to discover that and see exactly how it works. To do launch control, or thrust mode as Lamborghini call it though, you do need to turn off ESC. Now in here you have valves that you can hear open at about 4,500 RPM, then you get those crackles and all sorts of crazy noises. It's still a little bit damp down at this end of this holding area. It's very busy on the runway today. And this does sound just a little bit mad. Now let me try a thrust mode. So, point the wheels straight. Obviously the Huracan originally launched as a four-wheel drive car. They've made various rear-wheel drive iterations. This is the most hardcore rear-wheel drive derivative. But ESC off, that means when I go foot on the brake, foot on the throttle, it will say thrust mode is possible. Yep, let go of the brake, go. And it takes off. And that's where you feel that very linear power as it literally thrusts forwards. Now, that actually got to move on quite nicely. I thought it might have a little bit more of a trouble getting traction. The GT Black Series, let's see how that goes. Hopped into the GT Black Series. We'll pop this into individual mode, lots of different modes and settings and sport handling for the traction. Just take it for a quick little run, as I said, on these very cold Cup 2Rs. Now this is what's going to be fascinating, where the STO didn't really struggle all that much. This thing sounds good. There's a lot of speaker sound though, when you come out of a car making real sound. Just run it around for just a moment. Warmed up slightly. So, for race start in here, it's a very similar process. You hear all the electronics of the wing and things at the back. It's foot on the brake, foot on the throttle, and go. Yeah, there's the traction. That was foot flat, really struggling for grip. Really struggling for grip. And that's what I think is going to be the biggest problem. This car is going to need a little bit of warming and preparing with the rear tyres before it's going to have a chance of putting anything down today. So, to give this a go. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult to see what we can do with this. Give it one more go, but I think as they get a little bit, yeah, 12 degrees on the rear tyres right now. 12 degrees is not ideal. Yeah. Let's see what happens. So, I think very shortly, we can get some clearing, or clearance even, to go out onto the runway. We can line these two up and see what the result is going to be like. Well, fast forward a little bit. It's been very busy here at the airfield today, but we now have time to do the races. We are side by side on the runway, ready for the drags. I'm in race mode, but with comfort suspension. You want the softest suspension, but basically, after doing a few warm-up runs, we're kind of just going for it. So I'm lined up to the right, but of course, over to the left of me, in the STO, we have Christian.
I am so excited for this. I am in Trofeo mode, so the STO's most hardcore mode. I know this is going to get quite bumpy down the runway. I haven't had to warm my tyres up as much as you have in that crazy V8 monster you've got over there. However, I do have a bigger engine, and I'm very excited because this car you can currently win for a limited time only at botb.com. So if you're watching this video, you can head to botb.com, link in the description below, and you could potentially win a brand new STO. Are you ready?
Yes, very ready. It's probably going to come down to traction. We will have 3 races to see how this goes. Quarter mile. We've measured it out in front of us. We've got a clear strip. It is now very dry, but I suppose if we could have a bit of a countdown to get us ready and set, and after 5, we'll be ready to go. So,
in 5,
drive, right.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Go. Oh, we're away, I got the grip. Look at that, the STO is out ahead, but here I come. Wow, flying through. Christian, that was ridiculous. You had it off the line, but then the two cars were remarkably similar, weren't they?
I'm struggling to find the button on the flipping walkie-talkie. That was unbelievable. Oh, can we do that again?
We certainly can. I have to give credit to the Lambo. I did think that the Huracan would be faster off the line.
Line of it, but the speed it carried.
I only got you towards the very end. I was amazed, to be honest, with 200 horsepower more, how long it took me to catch up.
I was expecting you to come past actually a little bit sooner. There was a brief second where I thought, I've got him.
Yeah, it was up until about when I went into 3rd gear, and then it was like, see ya, I'm coming. I'm going to steamroll straight past.
Let's go best of 3.
I think we're going all the way, the full 3 races. I want to see everything that happens between these two. This is fascinating. Well, Christian, the first race was probably what we expected.
But I would say a little bit closer. I hope for race number 2.
Well, I've just turned the air conditioning off, so I reckon I'm going to have you on this one.
Every little helps, right? Every little helps. Well, the runway is in front of us. I vote we keep it all as it is. We have another countdown from 5, and we will have our second race. Let's do it. Okay.
In 5,
Here we go.
4,
Come on.
3, 2, 1.
Go. Oh, he's away a little bit more ahead of me that time. Yeah, he got the jump, and that made all the difference. I'm catching, but not before the line. That STO is faster than I thought it was. Well, it's going to be all to play for. You were off the line
Faster than me, and then you got the grip significantly better than me.
and you were away, and although I was reeling you in, it was not going to happen before the quarter-mile mark. That was really cool to see.
That was mega exciting. As soon as I left off the brake and we were en route, I thought, you know what? I think I've got this. And I did.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was thinking that's probably a bit far for me to try and catch up. So we were talking about best of 3 or just doing all 3. I think we need them all anyway. We're going to be back to the start line for the 3rd race to see which comes out on top.
I told you the air conditioning would help. I told you.
You weren't wrong. The AC made all of the difference. I'm probably going to need to copy you now and turn it off my end. Try and work out how to do that. There we go. Fan speed all the way down. You never know. So, this is the big one. This is race number 3 to see what happens.
I don't know which way this is going to go, but I'm looking forward to it. You ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's have the countdown then, guys. And this is, yeah, this is what it all comes down to.
Come on, STO.
And in 5,
4.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, we're way about in line. He's got a little bit of a jump. He's away, but can I pull back through? This is what it's going to come down to. This is incredibly close. Just before the line. Wow. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. That was so close.
I don't really know who won. You were definitely gaining on me, but when we went over the line, it was pretty much a photo finish.
That was very close. I would probably place a bet that the GT Black Series just had it, but I think we're going to need to check the cameras to see the evidence, to see exactly how that went.
Yeah, I think you're right. You were reeling me in at the end there, but it was neck and neck pretty much the whole way. I think you might have just pipped me to the post at the end.
Okay, I'm pulling in, I'm grabbing the camera. We need to see this one and see what the result was. Camera obtained. Let's head back down to the start line. After you, let me hear some of that V10. Yes. Now that was phenomenal.
I can't believe that.
We have checked the evidence, and the GT Black Series by a millimetre, like a hair's length.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could see how it was going. Every time you're off the line, you're gone. Like, what's it like pulling away in that car?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's like a whole theatre production in one launch control. Everything's going on, and then by the time you realise that you're actually doing about 100 miles an hour, your whole body is moving like this. It skips around.
It does.
First time I've driven the STO, and yeah, I couldn't believe how much it bounces around.
So this is one of the things. It has that like rawness and that kind of whoa, what's going on? And you feel this because as soon as it bumps on anything, the throttle, and you hear it through the noise of the engine, obviously, and you hear this like whoa, 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 whoa kind of sound.
Yeah.
And you see it as it's going down the runway as well. But the GT Black Series, I mean, you're off the line, you're gone, up to 30 miles an hour, you're out of there, and it's amazing actually that they've done that. Obviously, mid-engine, weight over the rear, helps a lot. But then when the GT Black has hooked up, when it goes into third gear,
there's not a lot stopping it.
No, it's a case of time until it pulls through.
I'm kind of glad we didn't have it any longer a drag race, because any longer, and I wouldn't have seen which way that had gone. It would have just carried on going.
Completely. And I mean, I'm seeing speeds about 145 miles an hour or something at the end of that. And that's with Cup 2s that are only at 30 something degrees Celsius.
Well, we can talk a lot about the tyres if you like, Tim. We have spent pretty much, as you can see, the moon is near enough coming up now. We've spent pretty much all day here while Tim's going, no, a few more degrees in the rears, few more degrees.
We've got to make it happen. Otherwise, it's not really very fair on the car. The STO has all year tyres, all summer tyres, rather than track tyres. So it's a little bit biased in that direction. But my word, I didn't expect it to be that close. Those races were fascinating, and what a pair of cars to put in the BOTB drag race. Hey?
I know, and I still can't believe that for a limited time only, you could win a brand new Lamborghini Huracan STO. If you do win one, and I come and surprise you with one, please let me have a go at it, because it is so much fun.
Well, you might have to take that one out for a drive at some point.
Oh, it's phenomenal car, phenomenal.
But for today, that was awesome. As you can see, the light is starting to set, but we have had the most awesome of drag races. I don't think it could have been more evenly matched. It needed all three, and it was that close at the end.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Well, thank you very much for coming as always, Christian. Thank you to BOTB for being part of this video as part of the drag races that we do here as well. So make sure you check out all of the other videos, and that's it for this time. See you again very soon. Cheers.